Welcome to tonight's sleep story. Let's drift into a soothing story together as you begin your journey into a restful and rejuvenating sleep. The evening air is biting, carrying with it a crisp scent of snow and the faint sounds of the world settling into night. You find yourself wandering the narrow streets of the city, your footsteps echoing softly in the stillness of the winter. Night. The wind cuts through the fabric of your coat, reminding you of the cold, reminding you of the emptiness that has settled within you for as long as you can remember. The city, alive with the rush of people during the day, now feels empty quiet, save for the occasional passing carriage or the soft murmur of a distant conversation. You walk aimlessly, your thoughts lost in the quiet hum of your own solitude, until something catches your eye in an illuminated window. From the outside, it's hard to see anything clearly, but there's a warmth radiating from it, a softness that seems to promise something better than the cold that surrounds you. The flicker of candlelight spills from the window, casting gentle shadows that dance on the snow-covered ground outside. Drawn to it, you approach the window, your breath fogging up the glass. As you peer through, your heart catches in your chest. Inside, a family is gathered around a large hearth, the soft glow of the fire making their faces shine with warmth. The father sits in his armchair, a book in hand, while the mother, sitting beside him, knits quietly, her eyes soft with contentment. Children laugh and play nearby, their joyful voices filling the room. The room itself is cozy, filled with rich, warm colors, plush cushions on the sofa, an intricate rug on the floor, and the unmistakable atmosphere of a home filled with love. For a moment, you stand frozen, watching through the glass. The scene before you is perfect, serene, everything you have longed for in your own life. You feel the weight of loneliness in your chest, heavier now than ever, as you witness this quiet, beautiful family life. There is an ache deep inside you, a longing for warmth, for connection, for the kind of home you have never known. As you stand there, lost in the scene unfolding before you. The soft laughter of the children and the gentle murmur of the parents' voices fill the empty space around you. For just a moment, you are not alone. For just a moment, the world outside fades, and you are transported into the warmth of this family's embrace. You begin to dream of what it would be like, what it would feel like to be a part of something like this, to have the love, the security, the simplicity that radiates from their every movement. It's everything you've ever wanted. But just as quickly as you find yourself caught in the enchantment of the scene, the lights flicker and the curtains draw across the window. The moment is over. The world outside rushes back in. The family is hidden from view, their voices silenced behind the thick fabric of the curtains. You stand in the cold, the image of the family still lingering in your mind, but now out of reach, fading into the background of your own quiet, empty reality. Deep sigh escapes your lips, and you slowly pull away from the window. The warmth you felt, the hope you held for just a moment, begins to dissipate, leaving you with that same cold emptiness. You walk away from the window, your footsteps growing heavier as you make your way down the street. The flicker of that, perfect family still burning in your mind. You know it's not yours. It never was. But for a brief moment, it felt like it could have been Dot as you continue walking through the quiet streets. The biting cold seems to follow you, clinging to your skin, seeping through the fabric of your coat. The city around you feels distant now, the once vibrant energy replaced by the silence of the night. The image of the family still lingers in your mind, and no matter how much you try to focus on the path ahead, your thoughts keep drifting back to the warmth inside that window, to the lives unfolding there, so full of love and simplicity. You pause in the middle of the street, taking a deep breath, trying to shake the ache in your chest, but it lingers. There is something about that family's togetherness, that quiet harmony, that tugs at you. How could a life like that be so out of reach? You've never known warmth like that, never known a family that felt so whole. It's hard to imagine a reality where such comfort could exist, especially for someone like you, someone who has spent so long living in the cold, both literally and figuratively. The streetlights cast long, eerie shadows across the cobblestones, and you continue walking, though you're not entirely sure where you're going. Your feet seem to move without your direction, as if following a path laid out by some unseen force. Every step feels heavier than the last, weighed down by the quiet despair that has settled in your heart. Your mind drifts back to the family, to the home you glimpse through the window, and your chest tightens. It isn't there. Why does this dream, this life, seem so far from your reach? Asterisk, you come to a small square. The benches empty, the trees bare of their leaves. A soft wind rustles the branches, and the sound is haunting, a reminder of the emptiness that surrounds you. You stop by one of the benches, sitting down slowly, wrapping your arms around yourself as though trying to hold some warmth inside. The cold cuts through the layers of your coat, but it's not just the chill in the air that you feel. It's the emptiness, the loneliness, the realization that what you glimpse through the window is not meant for you. There's a part of you that wishes you could forget it, that you could push the image of the family away and return to the life, you know? The life that, though lonely, is familiar. But the dream of that warmth keeps creeping back in. You want to know what it feels like to belong to something, to have a place, to be loved not because of who you are trying to be, but simply because you are. But the longer you sit there, lost in your thoughts, the further away the dream seems. It's almost as if you're fighting an invisible force, a force that holds the warmth just out of reach, always there but never for you. The cold begins to seep into your bones, not just from the outside but from within, and you realize that the longer you hold on to the illusion of that perfect family, the colder you become. You rise from the bench, your mind heavy, your heart heavy. The weight of your own loneliness pulls at you, making it hard to move, but you continue walking. The family inside the window may have disappeared, but their warmth, their love, still lingers in your thoughts like an echo you can't escape. You wish desperately to step into that warmth, to be a part of it, but all you can do is move forward, one step after another, through the cold streets. Toward an uncertain tomorrow, the city continues around you, indifferent to your quiet ache, to the longing in your heart. You wonder how many others like you walk these same streets with the same unspoken yearnings. How many souls are drifting through the night, searching for a place to belong, for warmth, for love, only to find themselves caught in the same cold emptiness, looking through the windows of others' lives, wishing for something that feels just out of reach, asterisk, and yet, as you walk through the night, you can't help but feel a glimmer of hope that perhaps someday the warmth you crave might find its way to you, not through a window, but in a way you least expect. For now, though, the cold persists and the night seems to stretch on endlessly, wrapping its silence around you. The city grows quieter as you continue your walk, your footsteps slowing, as though the weight of your thoughts has become too much for your body to carry. The streets, now covered in a thin layer of snow, seem to shimmer under the dim streetlights, casting a soft glow on everything they touch. But even the warmth of the light feels distant, unable to reach the hollow place. Inside you, you walk without destination, lost in the quiet hum of your thoughts. The family you saw through the window, so full of joy and connection, remains etched in your mind. Their laughter, the comfort of their closeness, the way they move through their space with such ease, these images replay in your mind over and over again. You can almost feel the warmth of their home, the flicker of the fire, the soft murmur of shared words, and the unspoken bond that ties them together. You long for it, ache for it, in a way that makes your chest tighten with a dull, persistent pain. Asterisk, the world around you seems so vast, yet you feel so small in it. The streets are empty now, save for the occasional passerby who seems to move quickly, their faces hidden in the shadows. You pass by a small cafe, its windows fogged with warmth, and for a moment you pause. The smell of coffee and baked goods drifts through the air, inviting, comforting. You can almost imagine yourself sitting there, a cup of tea warming your hands, surrounded by people who smile at you, who welcome you into their world. But as you stand there, that image slips away, and you feel the familiar ache return. You know that you can't simply walk into that warmth. You don't belong there, not in the way you wish. That world, the one where families gather and laughter fills the air, is not for you. It's a dream that dances just beyond your reach, beautiful but unreachable. You feel a sudden pang of resentment for the life you've lived, for the years spent in isolation, moving from place to place, never truly finding a place to call home. You turn away from the cafe and continue your walk, the snow crunching beneath your boots. The cold air nips at your face, and for a moment, you wish it could numb the ache in your chest, the longing that has taken root deep inside you. But no matter how far you walk, the emptiness remains, following you like a shadow dot. As you pass by another row of houses, you catch a glimpse of another window. This one is dimly lit, but you can see the outline of a figure moving inside, perhaps a family or just one person sitting alone. The sight is familiar, but this time It doesn't fill you with longing. Instead, you feel a quiet understanding, a recognition of the solitude you share with the world outside. It's as though, in that moment, you realize that your desire for connection, for warmth, is not something that can be found through a glimpse into someone else's life. It has to be built slowly from within. You stop for a moment, looking up at the starry sky above, the vastness of it reminding you of your own insignificance. The cold winds have quieted, and the world around you is hushed, as if holding its breath. You stand there, breathing in the crisp air, letting the quiet settle around you. In the stillness, you begin to wonder if perhaps this journey, this search for warmth, for connection, has always been one of self-discovery, not of seeking. Something outside, but of learning to find it within yourself. For the first time, you realize that the family you saw through the window, the warmth you crave, may not come to you as you imagined. It won't be handed to you, waiting just beyond your reach. It will take time, effort, and perhaps even acceptance of the silence and solitude that currently define your existence. But in that realization, there is a shift and understanding that you are not destined to walk alone forever. Perhaps in time you will find your place, not through the glimpses of others' lives, but through your own journey of healing and growth. With that thought, you turn back toward the path ahead, your steps lighter than they were before. Cold still clings to you, but it no longer feels as suffocating. The night feels less lonely now, and even though the warmth you long for remains distant, you no longer feel as if you are chasing a dream. You are simply walking step by step towards something that may not be perfect, but is real. Something that may one day be yours. The journey ahead feels less daunting now. The ache inside you hasn't disappeared, but it has softened. It's sharp. Edges rounded by the understanding that perhaps, just perhaps, the warmth you've longed for isn't a distant dream after all. It's something that might be built slowly, quietly, in the moments you allow yourself to embrace what is rather than chase after what might never be. You continue walking through the city streets, but this time, your steps are more deliberate, more grounded. The world around you seems to open up in ways it hadn't before. The soft glow of streetlights, the distant hum of life, the occasional laugh from a passerby, all these things, once distant and separate from you, now feel like part of the tapestry of the world you belong to. The cold still clings to the air, but you no longer feel its sting quite as sharply. The chill is still there, but it doesn't consume you. As you walk, you find yourself heading towards the small park at the edge of the city. It's quiet here, away from the hustle of the streets, and the snow has settled softly on the ground, covering the paths with a blanket of white. The trees are bare now, their branches etched starkly against the evening sky, but there is a certain peacefulness here, a serenity that speaks to something deeper within you. You take a deep breath, letting the cool air fill your lungs, and for the first time in a long while, you feel a deep, quiet peace. You sit on a bench near the center of the park, the wood cold beneath you, but it feels different now, no longer. uncomfortable. It's simply there, part of the world you're learning to accept. You look around, watching the snowflakes fall gently from the sky, each one a tiny, delicate thing, unique in its own way. And somehow, in that moment, you feel connected to them, each one small, each one fleeting, but each one contributing to the beauty of the whole. The stillness around you is comforting, and your mind wanders back to the family you glimpsed through the window. It's no longer the idealized image it once was. You realize now that their warmth, their happiness, wasn't something you could have simply stepped into. It wasn't a life handed to you. It was something they had built together, slowly, through shared moments, through effort, and through the quiet, sometimes unnoticed acts of love. And in that understanding, you realize that perhaps you, too, can build something real, out of your own experiences. The thought comes gently, like a soft snowfall, settling in your mind without fanfare. You don't need to chase after someone else's dream. You can create your own. And maybe it won't be perfect. Maybe it will have its moments of cold, of doubt, of solitude, but it will be yours. It will be real. As the evening deepens, you stand up from the bench, the snow crunching softly underfoot. You feel lighter now, the weight of your longing and loneliness replaced by a quiet sense of acceptance. You've spent so much of your life looking outside for something to fill you, someone to give you the warmth you've always craved, but now you know that warmth can be found within. It may take time, but you're learning to nurture it, to build it, step by step, through acceptance of who you are and what you have. You walk slowly through the park, the snowflakes falling softly around you, and as you leave the quiet sanctuary behind, you carry with you a new understanding. The road ahead may still be uncertain, but for the first time you feel hopeful. The warmth you seek may not come from someone else. It may not be a perfect family, a perfect home, but it will come. It will grow quietly, steadily from within. Asterisk, and with each step you take, the world around you feels a little less cold. The night feels a little less lonely. The promise of warmth is no longer a distant dream, but something that is beginning to take shape in its own time, in its own way. The days continue to unfold slowly, each one bringing a new sense of calm that you had never fully known before. The city feels less distant now, less overwhelming. The once isolated streets now seem to hum with life, and you begin to notice the small, beautiful moments that were once easy to overlook. The way the early morning sunlight filters through the trees in the park, casting soft shadows across. The snow, the quiet conversations between strangers on the street, their voices warm and familiar. The sound of the wind rustling the leaves of the few evergreen trees that remain green through winter dot. Your life has not dramatically changed, but something inside you has shifted. The heavy weight of loneliness that once seemed inescapable is lighter now. A quiet presence rather than an all-consuming force. The warmth you once sought outside of yourself is beginning to grow within you, quietly, gently, like the first rays of sunlight that peek through a clouded sky after a long storm. One day, as you walk through the city streets, you pass by the same window you had stopped at before, the one with the family gathered around the hearth. This time, there is no longing, no ache in your chest. You stop for a moment, simply looking at the house, but you don't feel the deep emptiness you once felt. Instead, you feel a quiet gratitude for the beauty you once longed for. The scene inside is the same, a family together, warmth radiating. From the room, the sound of laughter and gentle conversation, but this time, instead of feeling excluded from their warmth, you feel connected to it. You realize that you can create warmth in your own life, not because you need to replicate someone else's image of happiness, but because you can cultivate it yourself. The family inside that house is not your life, and yet it is. The love they share, the quiet moments they have built, are not just for them, they are for anyone who is willing to build them for themselves. You step away from the window, your heart lighter than it has been in a long time. There is still a sense of longing, yes, but it no longer feels like a void to be filled by someone else. It feels like a spark waiting to be nurtured. You've learned that love, warmth, and connection are not things that can be sought from the outside, but things that must be grown from within. You're beginning to understand that your own life, with all its imperfections and flaws, is worth loving. Asterisk, as you continue your walk, you pass by the park once again. The snow is still falling, soft and gentle, and the world is quiet, as if holding its breath. You pause at the park bench where you sat not long ago, and find that the same peace is still here. You sit down, letting the snowflakes settle around you, their soft touch on your skin reminding you of the stillness you've come to appreciate in this moment. You realize that the warmth you seek doesn't have to come from a family gathered around a fire or a picture-perfect home. It comes from within you, from your own ability to sit with the quiet, to embrace the imperfection of life, and to accept the beauty that exists in all of it. The light that once seemed so distant now feels closer, flickering within you, steady and calm. For the first time in a long while, you smile. It is not a perfect smile, but it is real. It is the smile of someone who has begun to understand that the world doesn't owe you warmth. It is something that must be created, built slowly and patiently, like the layers of snow that blanket the earth. And just as snow covers the world in soft, quiet beauty, you too are learning to cover yourself in warmth, not from the outside, but from within. And in that quiet, peaceful moment, you know that you are on the right path. The warmth you once thought was unattainable is now something you are beginning to understand and nurture, not as an ideal, but as a reality that you can create. The weeks pass slowly, each day a soft continuation of the last, like a gentle tide that quietly shapes the shore over time. The city feels more familiar now, no longer a vast, overwhelming place. The streets, the parks, the quiet corners of the cafes all seem to carry an intimacy, a warmth that was once foreign to you. You've begun to find comfort in the routine of your days, the early morning walks, the brief exchanges with strangers, the soft rustling of the wind in the trees as the seasons change. There is still an occasional longing, a quiet yearning that lingers in your chest, but it no longer holds the same weight. It is no longer a sharp, desperate hunger. It is simply a quiet reminder that there is more to experience, more to understand, more to create. The loneliness you once felt so deeply is now an old friend, familiar but distant. And in its place, a new kind of peace is taking root. A peace that comes from being present, from accepting the moments as they come, without the pressure of needing them to be anything more than what they are. One evening, after a soft snowfall, you find yourself back at the park, sitting on the same bench where you sat months ago. The night is still and cold, but there's a calmness to it, a tranquility that settles over the world. The snow, fresh and untouched, sparkles in the light of the street lamps, casting everything in a gentle glow. The world feels so quiet, so at peace, and for the first time, you don't feel the need to fill the silence with thoughts of what you lack or what you wish for. You simply sit, breathing in the crisp air, feeling the soft weight of the cold on your skin. The park feels like a sanctuary now, a place where you can just be without expectations, without pressure. As you watch the snow fall, you realize that you have been so focused on what you didn't have, what you couldn't attain, that you forgot to see the beauty in what is already around you. The quiet moments, the stillness, the soft glow of the street lamps, these are the things that make life rich, make it worth living. You begin to understand that warmth doesn't always come in the form of a perfect family or a dream realized. It comes in the small, fleeting moments of connection, of peace. You look around the park at the bare trees, the silent pathways, and you feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for this moment. It is not perfect, and it is not what you imagined, but it is yours. You are here in this moment, and that is enough. There is no need for more than what is already present. The snow, the stillness, the quiet, that is where the warmth begins. It is not a loud, fiery blaze that sweeps you off your feet, but the soft, steady glow of understanding, of acceptance, of allowing yourself to be exactly where you are, the princess from your past thoughts, the family, the warmth, the love seems distant now, as though it were a dream, a story you once told yourself. You are no longer chasing after a vision of what could be, because you found something deeper in what is. You've learned that the love you seek, the warmth you crave, cannot be found in an image or an ideal. It is something that comes slowly in moments like this, when you are simply present, simply breathing, simply living. The light from the street lamps catches the falling snowflakes, and you watch them twirl gently to the ground. In that delicate dance of ice and light, you find your heart settle, your mind quiet. You no longer need to search for something beyond the moment. The warmth is here, inside you, inside the stillness, inside the simple act of being dot as the night deepens. You remain on the bench, feeling the peace of the world around you settle into your bones. You are not lonely. You are not empty. You are simply here, and that is enough. The path ahead, though unclear, feels softer now, and you are no longer afraid to walk it alone. You understand now that you are not walking towards something, are simply walking, and that too is a kind of warmth dot. And so, with the snow continuing to fall around you, you breathe in the quiet, the calm, and let it fill you. You know now that the warmth you once sought in others and family and dreams has always been within you, waiting to be embraced. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the stillness wash over you, knowing that though the journey continues, you are no longer walking alone. You have found what you needed all along. Days flow gently, the world moving at its own pace as winter continues to weave its quiet spell across the city. The snow falls in soft, delicate layers, covering the earth. With a peaceful, serene stillness, you walk through the streets, no longer feeling the same sense of urgency or longing that once carried you. The cold air still nips at your cheeks, but you are no longer afraid of it. Instead, you find comfort in it. The crispness of winter, the clean, sharp clarity it brings. It feels like the world is clearing away all the clutter, leaving only what matters. The evenings have become your favorite time of day, when the world slows down and the shadows grow long. You often find yourself sitting by the window in your small room, watching the light fade, feeling a sense of calm wash over you. The quiet is no longer uncomfortable. It no longer feels like something to be escaped from. Now it feels like a refuge, a place where you can simply exist without needing to justify your presence. The silence is a companion, one that has no expectations and no judgments. Asterisk, you've started to find solace and solitude in the stillness of your own thoughts. Once, solitude felt like a heavy burden, a reminder of everything you lacked. Now it feels like an old friend, a quiet strength that holds you in its embrace. You begin to realize that solitude is not something to fear or avoid. It is in solitude that you have found your own voice, your own rhythm. It is where you've learned to be comfortable with yourself, to accept the parts of you that you once tried to hide, and to find peace in simply being. The streets outside are quiet too, the snow muffling the sounds of the world. The streetlights glow softly, casting a warm golden hue on the freshly fallen snow. There's a serenity in this moment and the quiet of the evening, and you can feel it settling inside you. The world around you may be full of noise and chaos, but here in this space there is nothing but peace. As you sit in stillness, you realize how much has changed within you. The longing that once consumed you, the yearning for something more, has faded into the background. You no longer feel the need to chase after a perfect love, a perfect life. You've come to understand that peace doesn't come from the outside, it comes from within. It is something you have to cultivate for yourself, something you have to learn to embrace in the quiet and the solitude. In the stillness, the princess you once dreamed of, the family you once longed for, no longer seem as important. They were never the source of your happiness. They were simply representations of something you were searching for within yourself. And now that you've found it, now that you've found your own peace, Your own strength, you no longer feel the need to look for it elsewhere. You stand up and move to the window, looking out at the world, the snow continuing to fall gently from the sky. The night is still, and in that stillness, you find a quiet joy. You are not alone, not anymore. You have everything you need within you and the world around you. Though it may still be full of noise and chaos, no longer feels like something you must escape. It is simply part of the journey. You smile softly to yourself, knowing that the path ahead is still uncertain, but that you are no longer afraid of it. The journey has become one of quiet acceptance, of understanding that the warmth you seek is already inside you. It was never about finding a perfect life or a perfect love. It was about learning to love yourself, to find peace in your own presence, asterisk, and in that peace, you know that you are enough. The journey continues, but now you walk it with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what, you will always have this calm, this stillness, this strength. And in that, you find everything you need. The world outside has taken on a new kind of beauty. The snow continues to fall, blanketing the earth in soft, quiet layers. The streets are still, the familiar sounds of the city muted under the thick blanket of winter. Yet there is a sense of lightness in the air that wasn't there before. The cold, though sharp, no longer feels isolating. In its embrace you have come to find peace, a peace that settles not in the absence of noise, but in the quiet acceptance of what is. Your days are spent in gentle rhythm now, a calm routine that has become as comforting as the quiet nights by the fire. Each morning, you wake to the soft light filtering through the curtains, the pale sunlight spilling across the room in gentle streaks. The cold air that slips through the cracks of the window doesn't feel intrusive anymore. It feels like part of the world, part of the quiet, part of the peace that you have come to understand, that you find comfort in small things. The feel of a warm drink in your hands on cold mornings, the sound of footsteps crunching in the snow, the way the city seems to hold its breath in winter. Each day feels like a continuation of the one before, steady, unhurried, as though time itself has decided to slow down and simply be. You no longer feel the need to rush through life, to chase after dreams that once seemed out of reach. Instead, you have learned to find joy in the moment, in the stillness, in the ordinary dot in the evenings. As the sky darkens and the streetlights flicker on, you walk through the city with no particular destination in mind. The streets, though quiet, no longer feel empty. You pass by the familiar faces, people rushing to and from their own lives, and you no longer feel disconnected from them. You've come to realize that you are not separate from the world around you. You're a part of it, just as it is part of you. The quiet, the solitude, the stillness, they are all pieces of the same whole, the same journey that you are on. One evening, as you sit by the window, looking out at the city blanketed in snow, you feel a deep sense of contentment settle within you. It is a quiet joy, not the kind that comes with grand achievements or fleeting moments of excitement, but the kind that comes from simply being. You have learned that joy does not need to be earned or sought after. It is already here in the present, in the simple acts of letting out the warmth inside your home, the gentle crackling of the fire, the soft glow of the candles. These are the things that fill your heart now. You have stopped looking for something beyond yourself, and in doing so, you have found everything you need. The family you once longed for, the warmth you once sought from others, is now found in the quiet moments you share with yourself, in the stillness of your own mind and heart. You have come to understand that love, warmth, and connection do not come from outside sources. They do not come from other people or from a picture-perfect life. They are born from within, from the quiet acceptance of who you are, from the ability to be present in the moment, from the peace that comes when you let go of expectations and simply allow life to unfold as it will dot as you sit by the window, watching the snow fall gently outside. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for everything you have learned. The journey has not been about chasing perfection, but about discovering the beauty and imperfection in the quiet moments that make up the fabric of life. And in those moments, you realize that the peace, the stillness, the quiet joy is all you need. With a soft sigh, you close your eyes, letting the warmth of the fire and the soft glow of the room fill you with a sense of fulfillment. The world outside may be cold, but inside you are warm. You are content, and you know that no matter where life takes you next, you will carry this peace within you. The days continue to pass, each one settling into the next like the steady flow of a river. The city, blanketed in snow, seems more at peace than it ever has before. The cold air, now familiar, no longer feels like a barrier, but rather a part of the environment, something to be embraced, not feared. As winter stretches on, you begin to realize that, though the seasons change, something within you has shifted too, and that shift is gentle but profound. You've begun to notice small changes in the way you move through the world, the walk through. The city no longer feels like a solitary journey. There is a subtle connection to everything around you, the way the streetlights cast long shadows on the freshly fallen snow, the way the sounds of the city echo in the quiet of the evening, the way the faces of strangers seem to hold stories of their own, lives unfolding in parallel to yours. For the first time in a long while, you feel a quiet sense of belonging, not to a place, but to the moment. Your walks through the city are no longer driven by the ache of longing. They are peaceful, full of observation, a slow embrace of the world that surrounds you. The cold no longer feels like an intrusion, but a reminder of the beauty and simplicity. You find comfort in the steady rhythm of your footsteps, the quiet of the streets, and the warmth that lingers in your chest. A warmth you no longer seek to fill with the dreams of the past, which once held an air of melancholy, now feels like a sanctuary. The trees, stripped bare by winter, stand tall and quiet, their branches etched stark against the pale sky. The snow, which once seemed like a reminder of the things you lacked, now feels soft and comforting, a blanket that wraps the world in a gentle embrace. You find yourself drawn to the park more often now, not out of a need to escape, but because it has become a place of quiet reflection, a space where you can simply be. On one of your walks through the park, you find yourself sitting on the bench. Once again, the same bench where you sat so many weeks ago, lost in your thoughts. The snow is falling softly around you, and you feel a sense of calm that has become more familiar with each passing day. The world, though still and quiet, feels full of possibility, full of life, full of the small moments that make up the fabric of living dot as you sit there, watching the snowflakes dance in the light of the street lamps. You realize that you no longer feel disconnected from the world. You no longer feel like an outsider, standing apart from the warmth and love you once longed for. It has come slowly, quietly, in ways you never expected. It has come in the small moments, moments of self-acceptance, of finding peace in the present, of allowing yourself to exist without the pressure of perfection. You realize now that the warmth you sought all along was never something to be given to you. It was something you had to create for yourself. The princess you once dreamed of, the family you once imagined, these are no longer the symbols of what you seek. They were never the answers, but the beginning of your own understanding. What you sought was not perfection, but the beauty in what is, in what already exists. The love, the warmth, the connection, you have learned to cultivate it within yourself, and that has made all the difference, Dot, as you stand up from the bench and begin your walk back toward the city. You feel a quiet joy settle in your heart. The path ahead is still uncertain, but it no longer feels overwhelming. There is no need to rush towards some distant dream or perfect image. You know now that the warmth you seek is found in the acceptance of who you are, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the simple act of being present. And with that, you are finally at peace. The world continues its slow, steady motion around you, but you are no longer seeking. You are simply living. The days blend seamlessly into one another, each one a quiet continuation of the last, like the soft flow of a gentle river. The city, still blanketed in the deep hush of winter, feels like a place suspended in time, its usual rush subdued by the blanket of snow that covers everything. The air is crisp and clean, and as you walk through the city, you feel a calm that you hadn't known before. The cold no longer stings. It simply is, and in that acceptance you find comfort. Asterisk, you pass by familiar streets, the rhythm of your footsteps steady, unhurried. The world around you feels like a quiet reflection of your inner peace. The noise of life that once overwhelmed you now feels distant, muted, as if you have found a space outside of time where only the present exists. The faces you pass on the street no longer seem like strangers. They are simply part of the flow of life, moving through the same world as you. There is no rush, no need to hurry. Everything exists in its own time. As you continue walking, you find yourself gravitating toward the park once more. It has become a place of quiet solace for you, a place where you can sit in the stillness and simply be. The trees, now bare and silent, stand like old friends, their branches reaching toward the sky in a quiet, unspoken embrace. The snow has fallen thicker, covering the paths and the benches, turning everything into a soft, white world. The air is cold but invigorating, and the silence feels like a balm to your soul. You sit on the same bench where you once sat, where you first began to understand that peace is not something you find outside yourself, but something you create from within. The stillness of the park surrounds you, and you breathe in the cold air, letting it fill your lungs. The world feels vast, but in this moment, you are part of it, a quiet observer of its simple beauty. There are no expectations, no goals to reach. There is only the present, and it is enough dot the sun begins to set, casting long, soft shadows across the snow. The light turns golden, then fades into the pale lavender of evening. As you watch the last light of day fade, you realize that this moment, this quiet peace, is all you need. You don't need to chase after the warmth of someone else's life, someone else's ideal. The warmth you seek is here, in the stillness, in the quiet acceptance of the world around you and the person you have become. You smile softly to yourself, feeling the gentle weight of contentment settle in your chest. The warmth you once longed for, the connection you sought, has always been inside you, waiting to be discovered. It was never about finding the perfect life or the perfect love. It was about learning to embrace the imperfections, to accept the moments as they come, and to find beauty in the simple, everyday things that the quiet of the evening wraps around you like a soft blanket. And for the first time, you don't feel the need to escape it. You are no longer searching for something outside yourself. You have found it here in the stillness, in the presence of this moment. The journey may continue, but it no longer feels like a chase. It feels like a quiet walk through life, one step at a time, knowing that every moment is enough dot as you stand to leave the park. The stars begin to twinkle in the sky, their distant light joining the soft glow of the street lamps. You walk slowly, your heart full, no longer weighed down by the longing you once felt. The city, once a place of isolation, now feels like a part of you. You no longer seek to escape it, but to embrace it, just as you've embraced your own journey. World continues to turn, and you continue to walk through it, step by step, knowing that wherever the road leads, you're enough. And in that knowledge, you find peace that with each passing day, the world outside continues its slow, rhythmic dance, each season flowing into the next. But inside, you have found something more lasting, more profound. The snow is melted now, giving way to the first tender shoots of spring. The city, once so silent, begins to stir again with the soft hum of life. Yet it no longer feels overwhelming, no longer feels like something you have to chase after. You have found a new rhythm, one that is steady, unhurried, and filled with quiet contentment. You walk the streets now with a new sense of awareness, a new appreciation for the small things. The breeze in your face feels different, less sharp than it once was. The sound of footsteps on the pavement, the murmur of conversation, the rustle of leaves. Each sound carries a new meaning for you. You no longer feel the need to isolate yourself from these things. You are part of them, part of this world, and for the first time, you feel at peace with that fact. The park, now green and alive with the soft colors of spring, becomes a place of reflection. The trees, once bare, now burst with fresh leaves, and the air smells of earth and flowers, the scent of renewal. You sit on the same bench you've come to know so well, watching the world around you, letting the peace of it settle into your bones. There is no longer any rush to move, no urge to seek something outside yourself. The world is unfolding as it should, and you are simply a part of it. The people you pass on your walks are no longer strangers, but fellow travelers on this path called life. You nod to them as you pass, offering a quiet greeting, a small acknowledgement of their presence. You realize that these small connections, these simple exchanges, are just as important as the big moments. In fact, they are what make life rich. The shared glances, the unspoken bonds that form when two people cross paths for a fleeting moment. It is in these moments that you find the true warmth of the world, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, the everyday dot. Your understanding of love has deepened too. It is no longer something that requires perfection, nor something to be sought outside yourself. Love, you now know, is not about finding the ideal person or the ideal situation. It is about being present, being open to the moments as they come, and being willing to share your time, your heart with others. You have learned to love not because of the ideal, but because of the real, the person who stands before you, with all their flaws and beauty, their light and shadow dot as you sit there in the park, watching the sun dip lower in the sky, casting a golden glow over everything. You feel a quiet sense of gratitude for how far you've come. The journey was never about finding something outside of yourself. It was about learning to be present with yourself, to embrace the quiet moments, to accept what is. The princess you once dreamed of, the perfect family you longed for, they were never the answer. The answer was always here inside you, waiting to be found. You smile softly, the peacefulness of the evening settling over you like a warm embrace. The world is beautiful in its imperfections, in its simplicity. And as you rise from the bench and begin your walk back through the now bustling streets, you carry with you the quiet understanding that the warmth you've sought for so long is not a distant dream, is here in the present and the simple act of living. You are enough just as you are, asterisk, and in that simple realization, you find the peace you've always needed. The journey continues, but now it feels like a gentle unfolding, step by step, towards a future that is not perfect, but real. And that is all you need. The seasons continue to change, each one ushering in a new chapter in the quiet story of your life. The days grow longer now, the soft light of spring turning into the vibrant warmth of summer. The city around you, once muted and distant, now feels alive with the energy of life awakening. People move through the streets with a renewed sense of purpose, their steps lighter, their faces brighter. And yet, you move through it all with the same quiet peace that has taken root in you over the past months. It's no longer about seeking. The ideal life, the perfect image. It's about embracing what is here, right now, in front of you. The simple moments, the sound of birdsong in the morning, the feeling of the sun on your skin, the soft murmur of people as they pass by. You are part of this world, and for the first time, you feel grounded in it, no longer wishing for something else or someone else to fill the space inside you. You have learned to fill it with the quiet joy of simply existing, of being present. You return to the park more often now, each visit becoming a ritual of reflection. The trees are fully alive now, their branches heavy with leaves, casting cool shade over the paths below. The flowers are in full bloom, the air rich with their scent. It is in the park that you find your moments of peace, where you sit and let the world unfold around you, knowing that you are enough as you are. The park is no longer a place to escape, but a place to connect with yourself, with the world, and with the gentle rhythm of life itself. One day, as you sit on a bench beneath the shade of a tall oak tree, you notice something that makes you pause. A child is playing nearby, laughing as they chase after a butterfly, their small hands outstretched to catch it. The joy in their laughter is pure, uninhibited, and for a moment, you are reminded of the innocence of childhood, the simplicity with which they experience the world. You smile to yourself, watching the child's carefree joy, and you realize that you, too, are beginning to find that simplicity in your own life. The worries that once weighed so heavily on your shoulders have lightened, replaced by a quiet contentment. The longing for something more, something beyond your reach, has given way to a deep acceptance of what is. You don't need to chase after love or happiness anymore. They are already here, woven into the fabric of your everyday life. You find them in the moments of connection with others, in the small acts of kindness, in the quiet solitude of your own thoughts. You've learned that love is not something you find, it is something you create, something you nurture within yourself and share with the world. Asterisk, the child's laughter fades as they run off, and you return to the stillness of the park. The sun is beginning to set, casting a warm glow over everything. The world feels full, but not in an overwhelming way. It's full in the way that life is when you let go of the need for perfection, when you let go of the constant search for something more. The quiet beauty of the present moment is all there is, and in that, you find peace. You stand up from the bench, feeling a quiet strength in your bones. The world outside continues to turn, but inside there is a stillness, a calm that has become part of you. You walk back through the city, no longer feeling the weight of your own isolation. The streets are busy, but you move through them with a sense of ease, no longer searching for something you don't have. You found it already within yourself, and as the sun sinks lower in the sky, you realize that this is what you've been searching for all along. The ability to be present, to accept yourself and the world around you without the pressure of needing them to be anything more. You have found peace, not in the absence of struggle, but in the quiet acceptance of everything just as it is. With a soft sigh, you walk on, your heart light, your steps steady, knowing that you are no longer searching for anything. You are simply living, and in that, you find everything you need. The world may be full of challenges and uncertainty, but you know that within yourself, you have everything you need to face whatever comes your way. And with that knowing, you walk into the evening, the city fading into a soft blur around you, at peace with yourself, at peace with the world. As the weeks drift on, the world around you continues to bloom and change. The city, once quiet under the weight of winter, now hums with the energy of spring. The streets are alive with people, the air filled with the scent of fresh flowers, and the sound of distant laughter. You walk through it all with a sense of ease, no longer feeling the need to rush or force things into place. Life continues, unfolding naturally, and you find yourself moving with it, not against it. The park has become a sanctuary for you, a place where you can sit and simply be. The trees now provide shade, their leaves of vibrant green that seems to shimmer in the light of the afternoon sun. Birds flutter overhead, their songs echoing in the air, and the soft rustling of the leaves in the breeze fills the space with a peaceful rhythm. You find joy in these small, ordinary moments. The sound of the wind, the feeling of the grass beneath your feet, the sunlight warming your skin. It is in these moments that you begin to realize how much you have changed, how far you have come from the person you once were at dot. No longer do you feel disconnected from the world around you. The loneliness that once seemed so overwhelming has softened into something more familiar, something you can embrace. You have learned to find solace in the quiet, to find warmth not in the company of others, but in your own company. There is a strength in this solitude, a strength that comes from knowing you do not need anyone else to complete you. You are whole just as you are, and yet, as the days pass, you begin to notice something else, a subtle shift within yourself. You no longer feel like an outsider to the world, but like someone who belongs. You belong to this moment, to this place, to the rhythm of life that flows around you. The realization is gentle, almost imperceptible, but it fills you with a quiet joy. You are no longer searching for something outside of yourself to fill the emptiness you once felt. You have found your own peace, your own warmth, and in that, you have found a sense of belonging. One afternoon, as you sit on your usual bench in the park, a family walks by. The children are laughing, running ahead of their parents, their voices ringing out in the stillness of the park. The parents walk slowly behind, talking quietly to each other. You watch them for a moment, but this time there is no longing, no ache in your chest. You don't envy them. You don't wish to be a part of their world. Instead, you feel quiet appreciation for the life they are living and the life you have created for yourself. There is no need to compare or to wish for something different. You are exactly where you need to be. The family passes and you are left in the quiet, the soft rustling of leaves, the only sound in the air. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the cool, fresh air, and you feel a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the journey that has brought you here, for the lessons you have learned, for the peace you have found within yourself. The world may continue to change around you, but you are no longer afraid of it. You have learned to move with it, to find beauty in the quiet, and to embrace the stillness that has become your sanctuary dot as the sun begins to set. Casting a soft glow across the park, you stand up and begin to walk home. The city is alive with the sounds of the evening, the hum of conversation, the distant clink of glasses in a cafe, the laughter of children playing in the streets. It is no longer an overwhelming noise, but a comforting reminder of the world you are a part of. You are not alone in it. You never were dot with each step you take. You feel a quiet confidence grow within you. You are part of the rhythm of the world, just as the trees are part of the park, just as the birds are part of the sky. You belong here, in this moment, in this world. And that realization fills you with a peace so deep, so gentle, that you feel it in every part of you. The world may continue to change, but for now, you are content. You are no longer searching, no longer longing for something else. You are here, and that is enough. And in that quiet knowing, you find the warmth that has always been inside you, the warmth of belonging, the warmth of peace, the warmth of simply being. The city's heartbeat seems softer now, as if it too has adjusted to the rhythm of your life. The streets that once felt like endless corridors of isolation are now filled with familiar sights, sounds, and faces. You walk through them with ease, your steps sure, grounded. The weight of loneliness that once clung to you has dissolved, replaced with a quiet confidence in your own presence. The park, once a place of escape, now feels like a second home. The trees, the flowers, the gentle paths, they are part of you. Now as much a part of your life as the air you breathe. The once cold and distant world has softened, its edges rounded by time and acceptance. You no longer seek to fill the emptiness with external things. The warmth you longed for has quietly blossomed from within, filling every corner of your heart. You continue your walks through the park, each step a quiet reminder of how far you've come. The soft murmur of the world around you no longer feels like noise, but a comforting hum, a part of the larger symphony that is life. You're part of it, and it is part of you. There's no longer any need to search for meaning in the noise, for it is already here in the small moments, the gentle rustling of leaves, the soft light of evening, the laughter of children playing nearby. These are the moments that make life rich, make it worth living. One afternoon, as you sit on your usual bench, you reflect on the journey that has brought you to this place. The longing you once felt, the ache for something outside yourself has faded. In its place is a quiet contentment, a deep acceptance of what is. You have found peace in the present, in the simple act of being. The warmth you sought in others, in an idealized life, has grown within you, and you realize that it was never something to be found outside yourself. It was always there, waiting to be embraced as the sun dips below the horizon, casting long, golden shadows across the park. You stand and stretch, feeling the soft evening breeze on your skin. The world around you seems to glow with the light of a life fully lived, not in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments that have shaped your journey. You feel a quiet joy, not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned to embrace it all, your imperfections, your solitude, your journey, and in that embrace, you found a deeper sense of belonging than you ever imagined possible. You walk home, the city alive with the soft sounds of evening, the distant hum of life moving around you. You no longer feel like an outsider. You no longer long for something that is not here. You are here. You belong. And in that quiet realization, you know that the warmth you once sought is already yours, within you, and always has been dawned as the night deepens. You find yourself smiling softly, the peace that fills your heart settling into your bones. You are content. The journey is not over, that you no longer feel the need to race toward an elusive ideal. You have arrived not at a destination, but at a place of quiet acceptance, of understanding. You are enough, just as you are taught, and in that knowing, you rest in the beauty of now, knowing that everything you ever needed, you already possess. The warmth of belonging, the peace of acceptance, the quiet fulfillment of simply being. This is the gift of life, and you finally learn to receive it.